Good afternoon, class. This is Advanced Narcissism Understanding. Today's lecture is sponsored by contribution from Gina. And Gina actually has sort of a contribution report on the borderline. So, let's hear what she has to say. Hi, Ollie. I originally sent this back on July 16th, but I don't think it went through. This is my first time ever sending you anything to read on your channel. A PayPal accompanied it, and I did receive a receipt from that PayPal. Anyway, I'm not sure if this is something you're interested in reading or a donation even warrants a look. But when you said your queue was empty, I sent this back when you were still healing from your accident. I've been with you since your first video. You've helped me so much. Whenever I need validation, I just click on Professor Matthews, and I know I've done the right thing. I did send you two. I think I sent you two separate emails because I realized what you had sent me didn't go through. So you were one of the people I was trying to get a hold of. I knew you had tried to send me something. I went no contact with my borderline, 8 times married mother 9 years ago. And as you know, sadly, we lose the rest of our family as collateral damage. So not only do we have to orphan ourselves to survive, the people we took slings and arrows for as children abandon us and side with our abuser. I am, of course, the scapegoat, the strong one, the one who called bullshit on all their drama and chaos. I had to get out, and I had to protect my kids from her and the end generational chain of toxicity. I wrote the attached letter to my sister as part of my therapy to a counselor. I never sent it and never intend to. It was just for me. I must say it felt good to write it, and once I started, the words just flowed out of me. She's not worthy of my heartfelt words. She has shown me who she is, and I believe her. We share DNA, but nothing else. Thanks for all you do, Ollie. I hope you know how much we appreciate you standing guard against this insidious plague on our society. Best regards, Gina. On to Gina's open letter that she never sent. Dearest Jana, I'm writing this letter to say goodbye. Goodbye to the hope for a sister and family who love and accept me. The hope for people who stand up for me and defend me. Hope for an appreciation for my experiences and at least an attempt at trying to understand why I have to take the drastic step of removing myself from a familial organism that is toxic to me. I realize I find myself becoming resentful and annoyed whenever your birthday or Christmas comes around because I am forced to deal with the question, do I send something? Do I acknowledge her? And it finally occurred to me that there is really nothing there to acknowledge. Only the skeletal remains of a wished-for relationship. I can now see clearly that the relationship is dead, just not buried. But until I could see the actual remains, I was still able to keep hope alive that perhaps it could someday be rekindled or brought back to life. I now realize this isn't possible, and that it's time to close the casket and bury what will never be and perhaps never was. It's like our relationship was an old dress in my closet, a dress I had once loved to wear. It made me feel good to have it and just know it was there. But one day I realized it had gone out of style. It no longer fit my body or my personality. And the longer it hung there in my closet, the more out of date and ill-fitting it became. Yet I still found myself yearning for the good feelings and remembered having when I worn it as a little girl. I couldn't part with it. There were some great memories with that dress. Times I felt wonderful and comfortable when I had it on. But as life in the years went by, my style changed, my taste matured, and it started getting worn less and less, and I didn't value it like I once had. Through the years, it was being pushed farther and farther to the back of my closet, squashed behind old prom dresses, coats, and cheerleading uniforms where the dust now settled on the shoulders. And yet, I felt that getting rid of it, I was going to lose a part of myself. But maybe that's exactly what I needed to do. There comes a point with all of us when we realize we are simply never going to wear that dress again. And even if we did, it wasn't going to fit right. And we would feel awkward and out of place trying to squeeze into it. It certainly doesn't diminish the good times in the dress, but like the big hair of the 80s, it just wouldn't look or feel right, and I would have to ask myself, what are you doing? Sis, I wish our childhood could have been different. I wish we had been born to a mother with borderline personality disorder. I wish our dad hadn't left us with her. I wish we hadn't had to move all the time. I wish we could have been close, that your mind had not been poisoned against me by a woman who received pleasure out of gaslighting and triangulating her own children just to keep herself in control and remain the perpetual victim. But I have come to the realization that in all the ways that matter, I don't have a sister. Mom made sure to destroy that relationship too. Your choice to stay in a relationship with me, you had a choice to stay in a relationship with me, but you chose to side with my abuser. I don't blame you. The power of the borderline is real and it is frightening. You were doing what you had to do for your own life, and you will find no judgment here. Only sadness over the loss of what could have been. So today I'm releasing myself from the obligation of keeping you in the closet. I'm letting you go. I wish you only happiness, and I'm sure there are other people who will benefit from the great person you are and can wear you in the lives with pride and comfort. I am free now, and so are you. Free from feeling obligated to once a year pull this old dress out and ask, should I keep this or give it away? I now know I can let it go and still hold on to the good memories, but now I won't have to hold on to the guilt of never wearing it. I will never understand why our lives had to be so impacted by such a toxic, disordered mother. But I no longer need to blame myself. I can walk away and know it wasn't my fault. None of it was my fault. God in his wisdom set each of our lives on a path. And if those paths never intersect again, then I can be okay with that. DNA doesn't create family, behavior creates a family. And the behavior of mine was never to make me feel loved, wanted, or valuable, only used. I wish you well on your path, but I will no longer keep pursuing a relationship with a stranger from my past. An old dress that will never be worn again. Love, Sis. Well, Gina, excellent letter. Couple things though I wanna point out. There comes a time, and you have to understand this, every abuse victim of the borderline still makes that choice, and you addressed it in your letter. She still chooses to keep you out of keep you out of her life. She still chooses to treat you the way she treats you, because she likes it. At some point, you make the decision. You could put a lot of it on your mother being the abusive borderline she was, and rightfully so. You wrote this letter because you knew it was wrong, because you wanted things to change for your life, for the relationship, for all of it. Whether it's you were cutting it off, you needed to make a change in your life. Why doesn't she? You had it right. She made the choice. Though I know you didn't, and I know you didn't, though you didn't send this, you're still, I think, in the back of your head, in the back of your mind, somewhere deep, 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 deep in that closet, is still a scrap of that dress, is still something. Just maybe, it'll come back in style, like bell bottoms or flare bottoms or whatever. Cowboy boots, high-waisted jeans, no matter what it is. Why do you keep it in the closet in the first place? Because you hope against hope, maybe someday, maybe someday, maybe maybe someday they'll be there the way I want them to be. Maybe someday I'll have the family I want. Maybe someday they'll care about me or love me the way I want to be loved. That day is never coming with the borderline. And you realize that. Excellent, excellent letter. But never forget, throughout all the abuse, no matter what it was, and I'm sure it was horrible, growing up with a borderline mother. I know you've been around a while. No matter who it is, we all become adults. Okay, and when we get as old as we are, and I have an idea, I think I know who you are from Twitter. Not spring chickens. Okay? And there's still a lot of choices that are made by your sister. So, when it gets to this point, though it's caused by the borderline, your borderline mother, your sister still made these choices. And the closet, and believe me, you hold on to that stuff, hoping it's going to come back. Hoping. And when you have to come to the realization that it's just never gonna happen. That's tough. That's a tough one to deal with. So, excellent report. A+. So, with that being said, thank you, Gina, for your contribution and your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching the lecture. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, or a lecture topic you'd like to submit, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help or can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Advanced Narcissism Understanding. And with that being said, class is dismissed. See y'all soon.